Hello everyone, welcome to Good Journeys Tarot. This is Rosemary again, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about shapes. So, I don't know why, but sometimes I feel like we're fascinated with things that are shaped differently than we might normally see them. Um, let's take triangles, for example. Triangles are three-sided, but, we can make them three-dimensional, in which case they end up being a pyramid. And when we add two triangles together, we end up with a Merkaba star. Um, and it's fascinating how shapes can change depending on whether they're two-dimensional or three-dimensional. Like squares, which can become cubes if they're three-dimensional. Of course, rectangles are one that we're most familiar with as tarot readers because that's how almost all of our cards are shaped. And I don't know why, but I've been fascinated with the idea of cards that are shaped in different shapes. And I know that some of you are too because I've seen them on Instagram and on videos. Sometimes we find cards that are triangle shaped. It's not very common, but it does happen. I've seen cards that are square, and I've seen a lot of cards that are round. And for whatever reason, I have always been obsessed with these round cards. And how would these round cards read? And how would that work when you can't tell which way is up and down and that type of thing. And so today I want to look at a round deck. It took me a long time to find a round deck that I thought I'd be able to work with at all. Not many of the decks that are out there right now that are round speak to me. But this one, after looking at it 5 or 6 times, and because I was looking for ways to kind of jolt my creativity or my inspiration during the beginning of the pandemic, I purchased it. So today I want to do a quick flip through of it and take a look at it. And that is the Circle of Life Tarot. Now, the Circle of Life Tarot is now in its third edition. The first edition had the keywords on it in multiple languages, as Los Scarabia does. And then the second edition of the deck had blue as the outline on both the front and the back. Now, this third edition actually has has a white border on the fronts of the cards and a blue border on the back. I love the mandala on the back. It's gorgeous, and I love that it's multicolored. I think in the original one, it was mostly yellows and reds and oranges. It didn't really have the blues and greens that you can see in here. But let's just take a quick look at them. If I can get a place where there's not a glare, as try as I might. So this is the Fool. Some of them are very traditional looking images that really just remind you of the RWS. And then others are going to be uniquely distinct. This is the Magician. It's the High Priestess. You can see the pillars there, which we're used to seeing. Here is our Empress. It's a lovely Empress. Here is the Emperor. And I think what I'll do is I will pause and talk about cards that are interesting or unique that I don't quite understand. One of the things that I've thought, though, is that the size of the cards when they're round like this, to me, it makes them a little large to work with. Strength. Oh, actually, this is Justice. So here in this deck, they're switched. Hermit. There's our wheel. There's our strength card. Hanged Man. Temperance. I do like the art style, and I like that many of these I can relate back to the RWS, since I understand it the best. I haven't actually looked at these since I purchased the deck because I've had other decks I've been trying to get to know. But they are really gorgeous. Our sun, it's an interesting sun. I guess the sun is behind this character. Oops, angel. All right, and then the world kind of has a fae feel to it. And now here are our swords. And really, when you get into the pips, is where you start seeing things that are quite different than the RWS, and you begin to have to really think about them a bit. It's hard to keep the cards straight when they're round and they're moving all over the place. So definitely beautiful artwork. Okay, and now our cups. There's a pretty shell. The two intertwined. 3, 4, 5, 6. My puppy's whining because this is the third video we've made this afternoon, and he's ready to do something else. Very sea themed. There's our page. King. All right. And here are our pentacles. It's interesting to me. Some of these are much more fantastical, fantasy-oriented than others. Some of them look very fayish, and some of them not quite as much. It really is gorgeous artwork. I do love the 7 with the eggs. Isn't that great? 8, 9. Our queen. I like her. Oh, look at this king. And finally, our wands. That birth of an idea there. I think this is one in the spring that I'll probably work with some and get to know, because it really is beautiful. But I have had some other decks that have come in this year that I really wanted to get to know. So this one's been kind of sitting here waiting for me to do a video and study while I get to know some of the decks that I have been long awaiting. I tend to... Stop it. I tend to work with my independently published decks first, and then I get back to my ones that are mass produced, because, you know, they're going to be there for a while. And I can get them at any time. So I could have just as easily bought this one, you know, later as in the spring. But right after I purchased it, I got some Kickstarters that I forgot were coming. And yeah. So I think next year, though, I'll be working with a lot of my decks more intensely than in the past, because I've decided that I'm going to do my best not to purchase any new decks. I do have 3 Kickstarters and crowdfunded decks that are coming before the end of the year, and then I'm hoping that will settle me for quite a while. So this is the Circle Tarot. Again, I do love the backs. It has some beautiful fayish energy. I've never tried to shuffle them. Let's see what that is like. Well, that's actually not too bad, shuffling it. Let's do one more and pull a card. I really expected it to be harder to shuffle. All right, so let's pull it. What card did we pull? We have pulled the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands. So there's a fellow there reading a list, it looks like, with candles on his hat at the top. Yeah. All right, let's see what it says here in the book. And it does come with a little book. It's a tiny book. I don't know, it's to me better than a little pamphlet that you get in some. Let's see. And it's because it's in multiple languages, like most of those Scarabia decks. It still just has like little paragraphs. Let's see. Yep, here it is. It says, a lone person attempts to read a parchment. His spectacles rest on his nose, and he has placed candles on his hat. The bright light shines against a wall, but does not seem to reach the paper. So basically, the meaning that they're giving this is that persistence in the face of adversity, or gaining knowledge, staying resilient. So that does, generally when we see this, we see someone who is standing at the edge of battle, who is tired and worn out. A different approach, for sure, but still the same meaning. You know, persevering despite the obstacles. And yeah, so I like that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my exploration of shapes, in particular the round, and that I'll see you again soon. Until next time, good journeys.